Stand by to launch FanStream Sports.
3, 2, 1. Let's start.
Hello, sports fans. Welcome to FanStream Sports. Nothing but pure sports. This is the JP Show.
JP, it is so good to hear you back on the air.
Stand by. Now, here's JP.
Day edition of the JP Peterson Show. Thanks so much for joining us here on this Wednesday. Peter Blake, in transition to his new home studio there, is joining us as well. Good morning to you, Peter. How are you?
What's going on, buddy? How you doing? Happy hump day. And yeah, absolutely a transition period. I'm glad to finally be over here, but moving, getting everything.
Oh, isn't it fun?
Oh, it's kind of fun, but then it reminds me of how old I am at this point because I'm back and I need to go to Bay Area Modern Medical at this point because my back and my body is beaten up from it. But man, it's good to be here as always on the JP Peterson Show. What's going on, man?
Yeah, get your testosterone right. Walking up them stairs, carrying all that stuff. Yeah, baby, love it. Well, we've been working on the new studio for the past couple days. Timmy's in there this morning finishing everything up, so I had to let him do his work. So I'm back at the home studio, but yeah, moving forward, we'll be doing most of our shows from our new beautiful downtown Jeeves Law Group studio, podcasting studio, live stream studio. Lots of fun things that we'll be able to do in studio. So keep an eye out for all that fun stuff.
Absolutely.
But for today, we're going to get into our usual, which is 2 fun, informative hours of Tampa Bay sports-centric talk. And as we do on Wednesdays, Leo Haggerty is going to join us to talk a little bit about that USF program. The football team obviously moving on, hoping to go bowling this year, hoping. They've got FAU coming up this weekend, so we'll talk about that. And, of course, the tragic death of Amir Abdul-Rahim, just still reverberating through the community, reverberating through USF, which it'll be a long time before, that grief goes away for that program. So, we'll hit a little bit on that as well with Leo, and we'll talk some Bucs, obviously, and we're going to do that with Corey Long at 11:30, and he also covers the Lightning, so we'll do that too. So we got lots to get to today, but I want to start, Peter, with one of the most ridiculous things I've ever seen in the world of sports. It's something that is a natural evolution because of the devolution of our American species here. As we continue to get dumber and more stupid and more outlandish and lack respect for every major institution, including Major League Baseball and what used to be a cherished event in our society, the World Series. A cherished and honored event. And now it just seems like an afterthought. Oh, they're playing the World Series this week? Oh, it's the Yankees and Dodgers? Oh, okay. I mean, there were times when that would move mountains. Like everybody would be talking about the Yankees and Dodgers in the World Series. I get it. But what happened last night is really going to become the signature moment, despite Freddie Freeman hitting home runs and grand slams and everything. And Volpe had a huge grand slam last night for the Yankees to get them out of a 3-0 hole. A kid that grew up being a Yankee fan. Great story. But still, this is going to be the story that people talk about. Am I wrong, Peter Blake? And I'm talking about the fan interference.
Yeah.
It wasn't even fan interference. It was a fan assault of Mookie Betts. It was a fan assault of a player who's trying to make a catch. These 2 numbnuts,
yes,
Yankees fans, which is kind of redundant. I kid because we care.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, what are you doing, you idiots? What are you doing? One guy's absolutely hammered. The other guy's wearing sunglasses at night. These 2 Goombas. What are you doing? I wish we could show the video here, but in case you missed it, Mookie Betts is going into the corner in the outfield to make a catch, and his glove goes over the wall a little bit, but kind of on top of the wall. Of course, the fans are leaning over. Now, we've seen fans most of the time, they're shying away trying to catch the ball, they see, oh my gosh, this guy's making a play on the ball. I will be respectful to the game and respectful to the World Series, move out of the way and allow the player to make the play, whether it's the visiting team or the home team, right? I'm not going to become an agent of chaos here and inject myself into the game in a rather aggressive fashion. So as Mookie goes up to catch the ball, he goes into his glove. It's in his glove. It's in his glove. These two Goombas one's holding his other hand to keep him from grabbing the ball. The other one's holding the glove and then reaching in and grabbing the ball out of it, doing the glove rake. Like they're a defensive back involved in the play. Are you kidding me? Peter, have you ever seen fans act this way? Ever?
No, I've never seen this before. I can't believe it. The guy looked like a complete and total idiot. The other guy, he was trying to get the ball out of the glove. I get it. You're trying to provide home field advantage, but you can't be doing that. That's ridiculous. And he looked like he was completely out of his mind. You're exactly right. The other man also had the sunglasses on. I mean, it just, it's typical Yankee fan.
Yes.
Yankee fan. But I have never seen a fan go to that, to those lengths. I've never seen that before, ever.
No.
So I think we've gotten worse.
And Rick adds to the story here. It says, to make it worse, those fans are season ticket holders and will be allowed back to the game tonight. What?
Yep.
How are they not banned as season ticket holders? And Rick is right. He says they'll probably get a hero's welcome in a podcast. Is that a shot?
No.
But you're right. They probably will.
Yeah.
They probably will. I mean, I trust you, Rick, because you don't bring nonsense to the show too often. I mean, but good nonsense. How is that possible that they're letting him back in? I mean, they're season ticket holders, so we gotta let them back in. That's egregious. And you let them back in, and Rick's right. They're going to get heroes welcome. You know what you're doing. You've just turned all the fans that are anywhere near the field into mercenaries. Hey, interfere with if a player's making a play, and we'll give you a hero's welcome in a podcast.
Mm-hmm.
So now you're encouraging. Next time a ball goes near this, wait till they come in my area. I'm going to have a baseball bat waiting for the guy. What are we doing? So now we're endorsing this type of behavior only in Yankee fan world. Come on. Now we have fun with the evil empire, right? They're our arch enemy. It's the Yankees. It's the evil empire, right? So we have a little bit of fun with them. But the majority of Yankee fans are wonderful, wonderful, wonderful people. Maybe did I say majority? There are some wonderful people.
Yes, you did.
But come on, guys. And seriously, as an organization, you can't be condoning this type of activity. Yeah, they kicked them out of the game. They are banned. They're banned. You can't do that. Worst case, you're moving them well away from the field where they can't do it again. There has to be some type of ongoing punishment, or you're rewarding these guys for doing what they did, and you're encouraging every other Yankee fan to do the same damn thing. Am I wrong?
No, you're definitely not wrong, but society is the way it is at this point, right? You salute people that do crazy things on social media. You act like they're superstars. I mean, this wouldn't be any different. You're going to see this guy most likely on TMZ or like Rick said, it's going to be on a podcast because they're going to be saluted as heroes because there are great Yankee fans out there and they're trying to do everything they can to get their team to win. I mean, that's just how it is at this point. It could have been. It's scary, but it could have been really bad. It could have been.
I mean, what if Mookie gets hurt?
What about the Malice? What about the Malice and Malice and Palace?
Well, those fans deserved it.
Well, they deserved it, but something like that along the lines could. I mean, it's not.
This is a totally different situation. Obviously, this is not a fan taunting a player. This is a fan assaulting a player during a critical play, being part of the action. Right. Rightfully, they called the batter out, rightfully, and they ejected him, but they can't come back into the stadium. You can't allow them. If what Rick is telling us is true, then, and I don't have any reason to doubt it, then how are you allowing them back in. That's crazy. And if they allow him to sit by the field, that's just completely nuts. Then you're telling everybody, yeah, get involved in the game. You will be richly rewarded. That's crazy. That puts every athlete in danger. Of course, Rick has to come up with this snarky. Hold on, this one. So to be fair, New York fans haven't been involved in a championship game in a long time. They've been outshined by other a-holes. The original bad fan. Yes, true. I mean, you got to be on the stage to make a fool on the stage, right?
That's it.
That was weird. Now, of course, this series just gets a little bit more interesting now as Freddie Freeman hits another home run. The first player ever to hit consecutive home runs in the first 4 games of the World Series in each game. That is freaking unbelievable. And he did it last night right off the top. 2-run homer. Dodgers go up. But the Yankees came back and Volpe with a freaking unbelievable. That was one of the most dramatic moments, especially in a series that's 3-0. I mean, how dramatic can it be, right? But that was pretty cool. And can something like that vault the Yankees? It certainly woke up Aaron Judge's bat and everybody else. They scored 11 runs. I still think it's a mighty, big hill to climb now. They're still down 3-1. They got to go back to LA. They're not winning this series, but that was a nice moment. And it made this World Series not a complete joke of a sweep. Because I don't think the Yankees would have recovered from that for a while. You finally get there, and then you just absolutely lay a steaming one, which is, if they lose if they lose 4-1, it's not going to be much different. At least they can take solace in the home run and the buffoonery that is their fans. So, but we make light of it and joke a little bit, but seriously, that is a major issue for sports moving forward as our world becomes less respectful, right? Everywhere you turn, and as the respect for authority completely erodes everywhere, and respect for just being a decent human being, that is now encouraged by this very blatant and public assault of a athlete. That's crazy. Maybe I'm overstating it. I don't know, but no good. All right, we move on. So things get easier for the Bucs this week at Kansas City. The toughest place to play in the NFL in terms of venue and how loud it is for the other team. And now you got to face 11 Chiefs and Tay glaring down at you. You got to face it's probably more than 12 if you count all the officials. How many officials do we have now? 7, 8, 50? I don't know. So they got officials on their side. They got the Chiefs on their side. They got Tay on their side. They got Chris Jones on their side. They got Patrick Mahomes on their side. Travis Kelce on their side. We got JTS.
Is that it? Really? Seriously?
Shut up!
I mean, seriously, JTS. I mean, where was he on Sunday? Did he even play? Was he hurt? Because I didn't hear his name not once. Not once, JP.
Yeah.
That's I think it's time to move on at this point. Go with the younger talent.
He is, according to PFF, graded 40 of 40 of edge rushers in the NFL. I don't think that's very good.
No. That's
so far this year he has 1 sack and 14 total tackles in 8 games.
Wow. How about
playing
that?
The majority of the snaps. Yeah. That's what I call first round impact right there.
I wonder if Todd Bowles is excited about that.
It's exciting.
Probably not.
In the offseason when he mentioned him, as one of the chess pieces, I was like, which piece is that? The one you lost that's in between the couch cushions? Which chess piece? Is it the one that got flushed down the toilet? Remember that? You go to play chess with your buddy, and you're like, oh damn, we're missing a piece. Then you take like a foil wrapper or something like it. This will be my night, but it's like, what chess piece are we talking about? He's certainly not a bishop. I don't even pawns work harder than that guy does. So he's certainly not a queen. He's not very versatile. He's pretty much one-dimensional, and that's just being bad. So what chess piece is he? He's the lost one. He's the lost chess piece. I guess that's what he meant by that. But and I'm not blaming everything on him. this defense has declined since the return of Antoine Winfield Jr. and Kalijah Kancey. And you know when it went downhill? When they lost Servassier Dennis.
Mm-hmm.
And KJ Britt had to play all the snaps. So, and this to me goes back to, listen, I'm not going to sit here and say, this is the 2002 Buccaneers talent on defense. It's clearly not.
No.
This is not the Tampa 2 of the Super Bowl years in terms of personnel, clearly. But Antoine Winfield Jr. is the highest paid safety in the league. Okay. Jamel Dean's making $17 million. He's supposed to be one of the top corners in the league. All right. Vita Vea is supposed to be a game wrecker up front. And when he's healthy, he does. When he's playing, he does. But when he's not playing, he's done a big help and hasn't been playing enough snaps, in my opinion. But you have, what do we have? What are we working with edge rusher wise? Yaya Diaby, who has had moments, but certainly not productive enough coming off the edge. I mean, and there, then there's JTS, Anthony Nelson. I mean, there's just not a whole lot there. There's just not a whole lot there that's scaring anybody coming off the edge. And we had thought that there would be some generation of pass rush with Vita Vea and Kancey taking up, the three interior guys, and maybe sending somebody every now and then. You could create a pass rush, but they haven't been able to do that. And defense is weird because you can look at it on so many levels, and just kind of say, okay, that defense should be better or that defense should be worse. This is what it's just weird to me that I think there's quality players on this defense. I think Kancey and Vea are really good players. Levante David clearly is not playing to his level. The other inside linebacker position, with KJ there, whomever's playing there, just a pair of shoes. I mean, Britt has 0 passes broken up, 0 tackles for loss. I mean, that's 0 forced fumbles, 0 recoveries, and half a sack. That's your inside line. Yeah, he's made some tackles, 9-10 tackles a game, but most of them are ineffectual down the field tackles. He's not making plays.
Barrett Rude called. He wanted to know what you were talking about. That's exactly what you think of when you see KJ Britt, a guy that's making tackles 10, 15 yards down the field, but can't cover. Tight ends have just feasted on this defense.
Doesn't need to be national tight end. Every day is national tight end day when you play the Bucs.
Exactly. Guys just wide open. Kyle Pitts just wide open, having lunch there, saying, what's Del Mabry like? What's the best Cuban like? Yeah, just hanging out there in the middle of the field. We saw Mark Andrews on 3rd and 4th down. 4th down. It's inexcusable how a guy can get open, that talented.
Wide open.
Andrews. Wide stinking open. You could have been wide open. You would have been wide open at that point. You could have ran down with this Bucs defense, especially in the middle of the field. It is Achilles heel. It's like the Atlantic Ocean has opened up when you go down the middle of the field. And it definitely has to do with Britt. It has to do with the safety situation, whether it's Winfield Jr. or Jordan Whitehead, who's been largely disappointing, whether they've been banged up or not. It's been disappointing. And at the end of the day, this defense has to look themselves in the mirror because, JP, you know this all too well. There are players on this team that have won a Super Bowl who know what it looks like, who knows what it feels like, and yet they're not putting out the effort. It's communication faults. I mean, you need to start making some changes here if that's true. If that's true every game, you have blown coverages every game, then what are we talking about? Why aren't there wholesale changes being made at this point? I get it. You have an injury situation with Servassier Dennis, who definitely was solidifying that linebacking position, but now he's out, so it's kind of changed things. But I'm ready to see J.J. Russell. I said it on the postgame show. I'm ready to see J.J. Walker over KJ Britt at this point. Dynamite.
Well, listen, I think the personnel obviously is not going to change dramatically. I don't think, as much as I'd like Jason Licht to go out and grab an edge rusher and an inside linebacker, which I think would make a tremendous difference on this defense, I just don't get the sense that they're doing that. I just don't. There doesn't seem to be a sense of urgency. If you see it all over in the NFL, the Chiefs are making moves, the Jets are making moves. I mean, a lot of different teams are. Everybody's in it. Yeah, the Ravens. Yeah,
5th round pick for Deontay Johnson, a local kid. Bucs
we thought would be a good fit with the Bucs. 5th round pick. That
that
seems that would work for me. And I think it would be a tremendous upgrade on what we have here. Jalen McMillan is a good player. He's a good player, and I think he's going to be a really good player. I don't think he's ready yet.
No.
And I don't think Trey Palmer is ready yet. Raheem Jarrett seemed to be more ready. So they've got to listen, and the offense is not the problem. The offense is not the problem. They're scoring 29 points a game. 29 points a game, 52 of 53 defense or offenses in the Super Bowl era that scored 30 points a game made the playoffs. That's enough. What they're scoring, you should be winning more games. Should be winning more games. And it's, and you go look at the games that they've lost. The 2 games to the Falcons were incredibly winnable games. Incredibly winnable games. You're losing those games by bad game management from the head coach, okay, going for it on 4th down, letting guys play that shouldn't be playing out there, causing more injuries, making you more depleted. These are all decisions that your head coach has made and cost you. Debate whether he was, well, I would have done the same thing. Well, fine. Then you would have made another wrong decision, just like he did. So there's the game management issues are startling at times.
Glaring.
Glaring.
I mean,
so,
we continue to see the same thing over and over again. And we know what that means. When you're doing the same thing over and over again and you expect a different result, that's called insanity.
Yep.
And let's face it, this defense has regressed from last year, period.
Yes.
And we thought it was more talented and a lot more younger and a lot more better, and it's not. So who does that fall on? Does it fall on players? Yes, it's easy to say players are not doing that, but also it falls on coaching. And who is the coach? And I'm not calling for Todd Bowles to be fired because I think the fan base does that a lot, and they're very comfortable with doing that.
Right.
Because that's their fallback. A lot of people just want to be right. They just want to say Todd Bowles is not aggressive enough as a coach, as a defensive-minded coach. He's also, with clock management skills, not the best when it comes to that. They just fall back on that. Do I think it's all the coach's fault? No, I definitely think it's the players. But at the end of the day, this coach has to wear this. And if he's not getting it done by the defense when he's calling the plays, then either give up that responsibility of calling the defense, allow your other coaching staff to do that, to take the pressure off of you. Because if it doesn't change, eventually it's going to definitely be, the onus is all going to be on Todd Bowles at this point.
I agree 100%. And, it's very indicting for the Falcons to have incredible success against the Bucs. Kirk Cousins, 8 touchdowns, 1 interception, and then only 6 touchdowns, I think 6 picks in the other 6 games that they've played. I mean, everybody else seems to figure out Kirk Cousins. And I'm looking at the defenses that he's playing against, Seattle, that beat him up a few weeks ago, some of the others that have beaten him. And I'm like, well, they're not, immensely more talented than the Buccaneers. So I tend to think that it's not really about the personnel. I think some of it is. I mean, we're not going to sit here and say, again, that this is the 2002 Buccaneers Tampa 2. It's not. But it shouldn't be the worst in the league. And that's where they're at right now. They're the worst defense in the league. And that's unconscionable, is when your head coach is a defensive guy. So whatever his answers have been, they've been wrong answers. And as a head coach, you got to pretty much and he's taking the blame for that. He's saying, look, we got to play it better. We got to coach it better. There's not much more you could say. You got to go out and do it. You got to go out and do it. And this week you're facing the Chiefs and Patrick Mahomes. Okay. Wow. Woo. Well, it's not the offense that scares you. Patrick Mahomes is having a dreadful season for him.
8 touchdowns.
The offense is not great. He's thrown 7 picks already, 8 touchdowns. I mean, he was actually had more picks than touchdowns a couple of weeks ago. So it's been this Chiefs defense that's really getting it done. So the Bucs offense is going to probably struggle to put up some points this week. And if this defense doesn't get it fixed and figured out, and listen, Todd Bowles has a history of knowing what to do with Patrick Mahomes. So maybe, this is exactly what the Bucs need. Someone that Todd Bowles has had some success against. So let's go out and do it. Let's see what he cooks up this week. I don't want to see KJ Britt on the field. Either put JJ Russell in there or just play dime defense. And I know that's going to be tough to stop the run, but tell Vita Vea to get it done. You got to figure it out. You got to keep making changes until you find something that at least makes you the 20th worst defense in the league. You can't win anything with 31. You can win with something. You can win with a great offense and a 20th ranked defense or a 15th ranked defense. Just be average, man. Just be average. Be an average defense with this offense, you can win games, even without Godwin and Evans, it appears. Although teams will catch up to what they're doing, throwing to backs and tight ends. They'll catch up to that, and they'll make adjustments, especially Spags and the Chiefs. I mean, this is going to be – let's just be honest. This is a horrible matchup for the Bucs at this particular time.
Yep. You're
going up against a great defense. Your quarterback's making mistakes suddenly. And that's because he has to try and outscore other teams because his defense is the worst in the league. And that's part of it. You can't ask a quarterback to be perfect when he has to take chances, doesn't have his top 2 receivers, and you want him to, keep up with the team that's going to score 27, 30 points. That's impossible. You can't dunk your way to 30 points. At some point, you got to take some chances. And he did that, made some plays, got burned some others, left some out there on the field, especially to Jalen McMillan. There was 2 touchdowns in that game. One was an overthrow and one was a bad route by Jalen McMillan. So all these, things that are happening are not just on the coaching staff, but in the end, the coaching staff is the one that's going to be held accountable. And for Todd Bowles, it's always been a mixed bag. Todd Bowles has been walking on that tightrope over the Grand Canyon for 3 years.
Yep.
Let's just be honest. One moment he looks like he's 4-7 and he's going down, right? And the next moment they win 6 out of 7. He's steady as a rock coming into this season. They win a playoff game. And he gets back on the tightrope. He's 3-1, and now a couple of weeks later he's about teetering. And there's plenty of Buck fans that want to just push him right off. I understand that metaphorically. This is going to be an interesting week. Now, I said this in the tease. This is an opportunity. You can look at this in one of 2 ways, and I just kind of presented the doomsday scenario, right? But a glimmer of hope. Todd Bowles has done it against Patrick Mahomes before. Okay? Make some changes defensively. Get KJ Britt out of there. Get Funderburk out of there. Now you get who you need in there and who you don't. I would limit JTS snaps as much as I could to find other guys and see what they can do at this point because he's just not a playmaker. Get the guys off by 8 games in. You know who can play and who can't. Get them off the field. Get new guys in. I don't know if it's definitely going to help, but you can't keep doing the same things. So let's go. And you've got a Chiefs team that is struggling offensively. So if you can hold them to 18 points and your offense can make some plays, they did a great job last week. Now this Chiefs defense is a hell of a lot better than Falcons defense. Let's not be fooled. The Chiefs can get after the quarterback. The Falcons could not. So offensive line's got to be good. They've got to run the football, which they've been doing a great job of, even last week. Run the football. Don't make mistakes. Don't beat yourself. No stupid penalties. Even when you're, trying to low block a guy and you miss him completely and they call the penalty anyway, don't do that. They've just got to eliminate those mistakes from their play, and they got a chance. We'll see.
They do. And Mahomes coming in, 8 touchdowns, 9 interceptions. He's tied with Baker Mayfield when it comes to interceptions. And, of course, who is the leader right now in the National Football League when it comes to throwing touchdowns? Baker Mayfield.
Yeah.
So that's what we're talking about.
He's also leading the league in interceptions.
Well, tied with Patrick Mahomes, who has 9, and he also has 9. So, yeah, that's definitely been a problem. And, of course, Kansas City, you talk about their pass rush. It got better because they just acquired Uche from the New England Patriots, just a couple years removed from, 8, 9 sacks. So he's a talented player they're trying to unlock right now, not necessarily doing it, but he's going to help that defense. And you're exactly right. When you have Patrick Mahomes, who's not performing up to, Mahomes' ability, but you have a defense that can stifle teams and shut down teams, that's the reason why you're able to win close games. So that's what they're going to bank on. That's what you're going to look at. And, hopefully the Bucs are ready for the challenge, especially defensively, because you just feel like, and I hate to say this, but knock on wood, this could be a coming out party. Just the way this defense is played, the way the offense has struggled. It's a combination of a perfect storm where Mahomes could have, as somebody mentioned on this broadcast, 4 touchdowns. Why? Because you have no faith. You have no confidence that they can get after Mahomes. That was the key. Remember the first matchup, that Super Bowl year, and I know it's a couple years ago, not the same defense, but you had edge rushers like JPP and Shaq Barrett who absolutely made Mahomes' life miserable. And that first matchup, they did it. They got burnt by Tyreek Hill. That second half, they turned the corner. But in that second matchup in Super Bowl 55, you saw how important Shaq Barrett was. You saw how important JPP and Vita Vea were and Sue were. So you got to have that pass rush, because if you don't, Mahomes can not only flick it, but he can also escape, scale the pocket, and make things happen. He can make a average wide receiver great, because he can make things happen with his feet. So that's what you got to watch out for. Also they're going to run the ball with Pacheco. And again, they're going to get after you defensively. So you got to be ready for it.
Pacheco's still hurt, though.
And well, is he still hurt? My bad. Okay. Well, listen, they're 8-10 in prime time, and that's just not going to get it done. And that's
the Bucs.
Yeah, 8-10 in prime time for the Bucs. Yes.
Yeah, which is amazing. They've only had that many games.
Right.
But look, the matchup is not great, but anything happens in this league, and we'll find out what happens. So we shall see. All right, we'll take a quick break. Leo Haggerty's going to join us. He covers USF for us for Amped Up Sports as well. So we'll talk a little bit about the football program, where it's headed, and also the humongous hit that the basketball program has taken with the death of Amir Abdur-Rahim. So we'll do that when we come back. We're brought to you by the Jeeves Law Group, JEEVES lawgroup.com, and our Jeeves Law Group studio. If you have any issues with your hurricane coverage or with your insurance company, they can handle that for you as well. If you've been involved in an accident, any legal matter that you have, the Jeeves Law Group will hook you up. Go to their website, jeeveslawgroup.com, and get their contact information right there, and call them, email them, tell them JP sent you. All right, quick break. When we come back, Leo Haggerty will join us. Stay with us. We've had a lot of fun with the monthly birthstones, and October is no different, where the birthstones are opal and tourmaline. All the colors of the evening sky are captured in the mysterious shifting hues of opal, and tourmaline has a color palette for every mood. Did you know that opals have been cherished for centuries, associated with royalty and good fortune? Tourmaline was once thought to protect against evil and enhance spiritual connection, adding to its allure. And during the 40th anniversary, you can find a special selection of this precious gemstone, from stunning rings and necklaces to elegant earrings and bracelets. Of course, Steve Weintraub handpicks every piece for its brilliance and quality. The expert staff will help you find the perfect gift, whether it's for a loved one, a special occasion, or a treat for yourself. Visit the Gold and Diamond Source today, where you'll always find the perfect gift. It's more than jewelry, it's love. Hey, it's football season, so we welcome back the FSU Football Report every Monday and Friday on the JP Peterson Show, sponsored by those huge FSU fans at Italiano Insurance. They'll save you money as well. Just do a quick insurance checkup, 813-877-7799. They just saved me $500 on homeowners insurance. Who's doing that? Yeah, they just shopped it around, found a better, cheaper company, and we got a cheaper price. And business insurance. Make sure you're covered, or you could lose your personal wealth. That's 813-877-7799. ItalianoInsurance.com. Go Noles.
Hey Tampa Bay sports fans, this is two-time LPGA major champion Jane Geddes here. After winning the US Open and 10 other LPGA events, I wanted to try something completely different. So I came right off the top turnbuckle and landed in the crazy world of WWE. And yes, you heard that right, that's WWE. Working for the Vince McMahon as the VP of Talent Relations for the company. Now, though, I want to work for you. Everything I've done in my life, I've done with incredible passion. And now I've turned my focus to leading the best real estate team in Tampa Bay, the Geddes Gordon Group with Keller Williams in South Tampa. If you're looking for a new home, an investment property, or looking to sell your current home, we will give you major championship level service. When you choose Geddes Gordon Group, you become part of our inner circle, like family. So if you're looking for a few golf tips or a golf course view, we're going to stripe it right down the fairway. Call me at 813-485-6808 or go to gettysgordongroup.com, or again, give me a ring at 813-485-6808.
JP here for Third Generation AC and Plumbing. And Third Generation really says it all, folks. The owner, my friend John Rodriguez, has been in the AC and plumbing business since 1995. They built their business on honest assessments and doing great work on time for a great price. Simple, right? Did you know many AC techs are incentivized on big commissions to sell new AC units, and you might just need a drain cleared? So if you want someone you can trust, that's John Rodriguez and Third Generation Services. Check out the 5-star Google reviews. If you have a plumbing or AC emergency, call 813-961-8024 and a human will answer the phone. That's 813-961-8024 or go to thirdgenerationplumbing.com.
Ciao, Paolo Tini here, owner of Caffè Paradiso, one of South Tampa premier traditional Italian restaurant. We were recently voted number 3 on Open Table list of Tampa Bay's top 10 restaurants. We're very proud of that because we take great care of preparing each dish by hand with homemade sauces, pastas, only the freshest local ingredients. You won't see the big institutional vendor trucks pulling up to our back door. We get our seafood from local vendors. Sometimes I even drive out to Topper Springs and pick out our daily catch right off those boats. So stop by and say hello. Try our traditional lasagna, the fresh veal, some of our signature dishes like capelli al granchio, that is angel hair with lump crab meat, our branzino, that is a sea bass. We're located at 4205 South McDill, and you can make a reservation on Open Table and read all the great reviews. See you soon. Ciao. Grazie.
Let's go.
Right now, back to the show on FanStream Sports.
All right, welcome back to the JP Peterson Show, brought to you by Bay Area Modern Medical Center. BAMMC.com is the place you go to get your testosterone right, your nutrition right, your workouts right, everything about your health, your sleeping habits right. They attack it all at Bay Area Modern Medical Center because the goal is to keep you healthy, not just get you healthy when you're sick. So go try Medicine 3.0, concierge medicine at its finest, Bay Area Modern Medical Center, BAMMC.com. All right, Peter, so we were talking about these Goombas for the Yankees, right? There they are. There they are at the bar. They'll never pay for a beer again. We're glorifying assault on other players in the field of play. That's fantastic. And it says, this one says, meet Austin Copabianco, the fan that interfered with Mookie. I was talking to him at a local bar when a bunch of other fans asked him to take a pic with him and for his autograph. He was a beaut. Story up soon at ESPN. He said, if it's in our area, we're going to D it up. By the way, Peter, your Buccaneers sign on the wall just fell down.
Just fell down, just like
so appropriate for that defense. So appropriate for that defense. Thanks for the prop. That was great. Well done. Well executed. Falling down in the middle of the show. That's the Bucs defense. All right, let's bring in our good friend Leo Haggerty from Amped Up Sports. Covers USF for us. What's up, Leo? How are you, buddy? Oh, we got no audio.
Hold on a sec here. Go ahead.
I'll tell
There
you
we
what, go. A couple public service announcements before we start. Guys, if you're listening, please start taking care of your health. I had colon cancer, no symptoms. I had throat cancer, no symptoms. But my yearly checkup, the doctor found it.
Wow.
Caught it in time. So, yeah, especially when you get up at my age at 71. And you know what? I was really pained to listen to that testosterone commercial. I thought it was aimed at me. I'm getting a little worried there, guys.
We all need it, partner. We all need it. We're under attack. Our testosterone levels are under attack.
Yes.
So go get yours checked and make sure you're in the good range for
Yes,
sure.
for
Did
sure.
you see that? Did you see that Yankees game last night? Yankees Dodgers World Series, and those Goombas go after Mookie Betts.
I'll tell you what, that's horrific. And to sit there and glorify it, it's like people running on the football field naked. They just don't show it, then they stop doing it. But the fact,
Damn it.
And I guess because it was 3-0 and they wanted to keep people involved to watch the game. But, I'm there to watch the game. I'm not there to watch some idiot be an idiot.
Well, the bad part about it is that now we're glorifying it. We're glorifying it. And the Yankees, I'm told, are letting them back in because they're season ticket holders. And I don't know if they're allowing them to sit in their same seats. They better not. But we knew this was going to happen with Yankee fans. These guys are now glorified, they're heroes in Yankee world because they assaulted another player. And, happened to be Mookie Betts, who, by the way, once kicked their ass as a member of the Boston Red Sox. So, very on brand for Yankee fans and Yankee world to honor these guys.
And the sad thing, guys, is the 98% of the fans that are Yankee fans, that are good fans, they're probably looking at this and going, hey, he stepped over the bounds, but I'm not going to say anything. I'm just here to watch the game. So, yeah, if you're a fan, understand there are limitations to what you can and can't do.
That's
and
right.
if you do something that you can't do, your ass is getting thrown out. And
That's
if
right.
you're in Philadelphia, you're going down to the basement and you're going to see the judge, and they're going to take care of you right there.
Sounds like Philadelphia, the Philadelphia Eagle fans that were the jail that was in the stadium.
And you know what, guys? That's not a wives' tale. I was going up the elevator when the Bucs played the Eagles in the championship game where Rondé Barber intercepted the pass. I'm next to Paul Tagliabue. They had to hold up the elevator because they were taking two guys down in cuffs to see Judge Seamus. And Judge Seamus throws the book at him. You can't make that up, guys. You can't.
So I was looking for some other stuff, but I came across this. Speaking of fans, so Mike's caught a Yankees fan taunting Freddie Freeman during the stand up to cancer moment. As he was holding a sign that said his mom, who died of skin cancer when he was 10 years old, Yankee fans were yelling, "You suck, Freeman," during the stand up for cancer moment. It's not a good showing by the Yankee fans, or maybe, showing the world what they're actually all about. This is what, we sit here and we talk sports and we cover sports for a living, and we're blessed to do it. But man, I don't ever want to give the impression that these games are this important, because they're not. They're not. And the other team players are not your enemy. They're just players, and they're human beings, and they should be celebrated for what they're doing, even if it's not in your jersey. My God. People.
And you know what, guys? I'm going to go back to Warren Sapp. 31 fan bases hated Warren Sapp, but 31 fan bases wanted him to play on their team because he could play football. You know what? It's just, and I can remember going to the Super Bowl, and Warren Sapp's football intelligence was phenomenal. I asked him point blank, I said, Warren, what would it mean to win the Super Bowl for you? He had a one-word answer, and this is a great answer: immortality. And it basically is when you win the Super Bowl.
Yep, true. All right, let's move on and talk about USF here. And I think it's only proper that we talk about what happened with Amir Abdul-Rahim, their celebrated head basketball coach, who I know you knew well, Leo. I only got to meet him a few times. Just a spectacular human being. We talked about it a lot on the show on Friday, and dedicated a lot of time to it. That he was just a special human being, and he lit up the room every time he was in it. He made everybody better around him, and his future was unlimited. And when these type of shooting stars are snuffed out, it feels worse for everybody. And I know the people at USF all across the sports landscape and in the campus itself are hurting. They're still hurting, and it's probably going to hurt for a while. What's your take on where this program is at right now? Some thoughts on Amir. The floor is yours.
You know what, guys? He was genuine with capital letters. What you see was what you got. And I can remember the first press conference after the South Carolina State game. And I asked him, what's your goals this year? And he looked at me dead in the eye and he said, when we win the championship, I'll give you a piece of the net. I thought this guy was delusional. He was 14-18 the year before. Nobody knew what he had. They go 2-4. All of a sudden beat Florida State, win 5 in a row. Lose at UAB, win 15 in a row. They had a stretch of 21-1.
Jesus.
There's the piece of the net he gave me. Sitting on my desk. Yep. Wow. And I'll tell you that I couldn't go to the press conference yesterday, and I texted Chad, and I said, Chad, I'm going to get emotional, and that's not the time or place to do it. I'm starting to tear up now because
I can see that.
We just and Peter was there. He would spend time after the press conference just talking to the two of us.
Yep.
About basketball.
Yep.
And it was he truly was a friend. He truly was. What I felt bad about was that on the AAC Zoom call, I got on it and I'm talking to Coach and everything. And I texted Chad after. I say, Chad, is Coach feeling okay? He just didn't sound good, didn't look good. He said, yeah, he had a cold. Well, obviously he had worse than a cold. But this could be a program destroyer because the glass ceiling was broke. They were through. He had kids coming in. You thought last year's team was good? Wait till you see what this year's team was going to look like. I mean, he was so excited about this. And, in fact, they asked Coach Golish yesterday, and I guess the football team went up to Atlanta for the celebration of life up at Kennesaw. And you could just see how emotional he was. Amir got hired like 2 or 3 months after he did. They shared so much. They had turned programs around. And Coach brought this up, and this was phenomenal. He said, Coach Amir would come out, watch the practices. He kind of bonded with the defensive backs, talked as much smack as I did, which was great. He said, I asked him to come in and talk to the players during the spring. And he said, yeah, just no cameras. He went on for 90 minutes in front of the players. So
Wow.
this guy had a bond. It's rest in peace, my friend, because you laid the groundwork. You took him from us too soon.
Yeah,
Sure.
I agree. We got a chance to shake his hand, and I remember asking him a couple questions, and this is the one that stood out for me when I asked him about being up for Coach of the Year. Eventually, he did win Coach of the Year for the AAC, but he was so humble. He would talk about his staff. He would also talk about his family, and he would talk about what he envisioned USF basketball would be in the Tampa Bay area. Here we go.
That you should be up for Coach of the Year. I know you don't want to talk about yourself, so tell me how blessed you are to have your staff.
I want to be like Coach Jenkins, and I want to be staff of the year, right? Like, I really do. I don't want to be like, trust me, no coach, there's no coach in the country that coaches by himself, okay? So if I would rather them give a staff of the year award, and whatever award I get, I'm going to take the plate off and I'm going to go get a plate on it that says staff of the year. I'm going to make sure to get my staff one. I'm unbelievably blessed. Again, I know the value of a staff. Again, if you talk too much about yourself and my family, you get beat up, and it's not fun, okay? It's not fun. You'll think it's just 2 girls, and all of a sudden, this big 6'10" dude come in there and drop a Dusty Rhodes elbow on you, and you don't know what's going on. So I just think it's important, for our university. Again, I'm deflecting on purpose. I really am, okay? But I just think it's important for our university. This is a special place, man. And again, I say it all the time, and I promise you I'm not just trying to throw stats at you. It's the fastest growing university in the country. It's Tampa Bay's home for hoops, right? You got to go to Orlando or Miami. You used to have to go to Miami or Orlando to get a good basketball game. Well, now you can drive for 10, 15, 20 minutes, and you can get a pro-style offense with pro-style players, all right, that compete at a high level, right? So, again, it's special. And I only want to we only want to add to it.
Man. And that's like Amir on USF potential. Okay. You could take another 1,000 topics that he would wax poetically about. I just, saw the press conference. I was there for 2 games. He came on the show one time, I believe. And it just, what an impact. I was like, that dude is just different. And I said this last week. I've been blessed to work very closely with some of the greatest coaches that have ever done it. And I'm talking about Bobby Bowden and Tony Dungy and John Tortorella and Joe Madden. I mean, championship winners. Billy Donovan. I will not say that name, Urban. Guys that have won championships. And there's something special about all of them. There's something really, really special about all of them. And, and it's different things. But for Amir, his positivity, his perspectives, his gift of gab, he was just so good at talking and what he said made sense, and it reached you on a different level, and it made you feel inspired. Like, how many people do that in your daily life? Not
Nobody.
many. Not
and
many.
You know
Not
what,
many.
JP? He after the 6-game winning streak, I asked him, "What's changed?" He goes, "We are now connected." That was his buzzword. My team is connected. And you know the people who should really feel bad about his passing? Those idiots on the NCAA selection committee that kept them out of the tournament. Because that man died without having a chance to take USF to the tournament. And deservedly should have went last year. And anybody that says, oh, they didn't deserve it, you have no clue about basketball.
Yeah. I don't care what league it may not be the ACC or the SEC in terms of but there's some good teams in that league, and you win that many games in a row and go 21-1. I mean, you're with a program that has been left for dead many times.
Yeah.
So yeah,
and dear God, were they fun to watch? Could they shoot?
That FAU game, Leo, was. That was just I covered a lot of great basketball games in my day, and I was a color analyst for FSU for a few years, working with Gene Deckerhoff during our ACC run with Doug Edwards and Sam Cassell and Charlie Ward and Bob Sura, and those teams were phenomenal. We played in some cathedrals. I'm talking about going into Tobacco Road. There's just so many great places. Cameron Indoor, the Dean Dome, Wake Forest, all these great places. And that atmosphere in that game at FAU with FAU on that Saturday was as good a basketball atmosphere and as fun and as high quality. The USF was up by 22 at one point. They were balling. And then they came back and they almost blew the lead and then made some big plays. It reminded me what great college basketball could feel like and look like and the emotion it can give you. And it's freaking fun, man. That place was loud. It was jumping. The energy was off the charts. And what they accomplished was just as meaningful. So,
yeah. And you know what, JP? There was only one place recently that had more energy than that, and that was Monday night at Amalie Arena.
Yeah.
My God.
That was pretty cool.
Yeah.
That was pretty cool.
And you know what? It was the perfect scenario. Stamkos gets 2 assists. It goes to overtime. The Lightning get 2 points. Everybody goes home happy.
Yep.
Yeah, and you kind of wonder how it's gonna. Going back to Coach Amir Abdul Rahim, how it's gonna affect Coach Golish, because again, like you said, they were close. He mentioned Coach in the press conferences. They talked about each other's kids. So you wonder what kind of, and it's been tough for USF, right? I mean, not only on the football field, but off the football field with the hurricanes and the devastation, and everything, all the distractions, and now.
They need a dub. They need a dub this week, Leo. Going down to FAU. What are the chances? FAU got them pretty good last year.
Yeah, and you know what? So did UAB, and look what happened. That team came out, and you know what? They had a little dust up on the sideline, and since then, that team's been playing pretty darn well.
Yeah,
so I don't know.
If that's what it takes, let's put a ring. Let's put a ring on the sideline.
Absolutely.
Hey, put the gloves on. Let's go.
Like Coach said, let's put that 6'10" guy and put the Dusty Rhodes elbow on him.
Let's
Boom.
Let's go.
Boom. Yeah. Bionic elbow right there. Boom.
So no Byron Brown this week, right? Or for the rest of the year, we don't think, right?
I think it's at least
Archie's team.
Yeah, 2 or 3 weeks, because I saw him after the game with the UAB, and he was on one of those little scooters.
Yeah.
With the leg up. So I'm thinking, okay, yeah, he may be taking snaps. He may be doing this. He's taking mental reps, which is great. They're not going to put that kid out there till he's at least 90.
They better not.
Not going to happen.
Yeah.
Not going to happen.
So can Archie go down there and use their run game and get a dub at FAU?
Yeah. And again, I asked Coach, I said, Coach, after what happened last year, you don't need any extra motivations. Nope. We're ready to roll. And I think it was huge that they got a win with Archie under center, because I asked Sean Atkins yesterday, I said, what's the difference between Byron Brown and Archie? He said, well, Byron's more of a mobile quarterback. Archie gets back there. He's the baseball player. He settles down and he comes at you from all different arm angles because he's played baseball. So he is not more of his legs or his feet. He's more a set up and let that gun go. And he's doing a pretty good job of it.
Well, I'm looking at FAU's schedule and results here. They're 2-5. Nothing spectacular. Lost to Michigan State, 16-10. Lost to Army. Well, obviously, he's a pretty good team, 24-7. Beat FIU. Beat North Texas, beat Wagner, 41-10. Lost to North Texas, 41-37, and lost to UTSA, 38-24. So it's just not a great football team. They don't score a lot of points. You got to get a dub here if you're USF.
You got to find a way to win. And I know this is not the time to say this, but if something doesn't kill you, it makes you stronger.
Right.
This team's been through everything imaginable in the last 3 weeks, and now they got to play a Friday night game. I think they're embellishing that because now they're going, okay, we're the only game on TV. So the whole nation's going to be watching us. And I think they are really using that as a gathering point for their team because, JP, you and I know we played the game. We covered the game. Peter, you and I know football is a game of repetition. You want to play Saturday. Now you got to play Friday. But the good news is they had a bye week before. So that's it. And I'm going to shoot out there and talk to the coordinators and see what the heck's going on.
All right, Leo, go do your thing, man. Appreciate you. That's Leo Haggerty right there, Amped Up Sports.
Take care, guys.
Great perspective on Amir Abdur-Rahim as well. Yeah, they got to get a dub. Friday night, USF, ESPN, FAU. Don't miss it. Good chance for them to put on a little show for the country, get a W, and keep marching towards that, what hopefully is a bowl season. Right now, they're 3-4. You got to get this dub at FAU. You got to get. They're 2-5. They're not a good football team. Beat them. Get the 4-4. Then you got Navy at home, probably a loss. So you're 4-5, and then you got Charlotte, Tulsa, and Rice to end the season. All right. So you got to be going to a bowl game. You just got to be. Right? 4-4, but this is the key: 4-4, 4-5. Then you got to win 2 of the last 3, which you should really sweep them all. So this is very, very doable. And bowls are important not because they're meaningless. Just exercises. I get it. It's the 10 to 15 days of practice that you get to keep building your program. It helps you in recruiting. It helps you in developing your players. It really should help you in developing your players. It gives you a chance to start next season off in a positive way. You're starting to play those players that are going to be key for you next year. And maybe Byron Brown can come back and start building some momentum for next year and hopefully give him a good feeling and want him to stay. I mean, let's just be honest. This is obviously going to be an issue in the offseason. Will Byron Brown stay? And where does this season go? This season is hanging in a balance. It could be a glorious season, back-to-back bowl games. Go play against a bowl game, but it probably be a team with a name like a Syracuse that you crushed last year. Go take care of that business and keep building your program. With just 1 or 2 wins better. And you got a great opportunity to do that, even with Byron Brown down. So there's a lot left for this Bulls team. You agree?
No, absolutely. And look, the expectations were sky high. And yeah, you may not win your conference at this point, but you're exactly right. You could be bowl eligible, that you build off of that momentum. The injury to Brown, of course, doesn't hurt. And you're exactly right. You want to finish on a strong note, not only for Brown, for him to stay because you don't want to have that conversation, but also recruits coming in. And you want to continue to have that trajectory, if you will, for this program so you can recruit, so you can go into the transfer portal and improve this team and build off of it. So there's definitely a lot to prove. It's disappointing, but again, at the end of the day, it's all in front of you. You have an opportunity to at least be bowl eligible and build off the momentum from this year to next year.
Yeah, I agree. It's just, and if you look at the opposite, right? Like say they lose this week and lose to Charlotte or Tulsa. I mean, and you don't get to a bowl game. Now it's like, okay, is Golis the right guy? Or did we make a mistake? Where are we at? Was that last year more of an anomaly? Where's this program going? It's 2 totally different feelings, right? 2 totally different feelings in the offseason. One is a building kind of continued slow build, and the other is just like, did we hit a huge bump and fell in the hole? So a lot left for USF to really kind of continue that trajectory. And, and don't underestimate the fact that you are the only game in town on Friday night. Go out there and show all these recruits that this is a fun place to play. Uniforms look good. We play fast. We make big plays. Make it look good. Put on a show. That's what it's all about.
That's
so
it.
Let's go.
It. And you got an opportunity in front of a national TV audience once again to show that you it's not the same USF Bulls team. This is the team that played Alabama tough for 3.5 quarters. This is a team that played the Miami Hurricanes for a half tough. So you have the opportunity to build on that. Not the team that's getting their doors blown off by others. So.
Yeah. I know. I'm looking at these scores on their schedule. Alabama 42-16. I'm like, no, it wasn't.
No,
it wasn't. It was 21-16 with 6 minutes left. What the hell happened?
Right.
Miami's like, wait a minute, 50-15. Oh, we had the lead in the second quarter.
Yes.
So hopefully, but better. That the USF has had some good moments. They just need to finish strong. They really need to finish strong.
It's all about finishing strong, and it's all about, a young team learning how to win because, they had some returning starters, but let's face it, they're also there's some new kids on this team that have to learn how to win, and that's what happens with a young team. When you learn how to win, you finish strong, and I go back to the Bucs, right? For so many years, it seemed like in 96, that 97 year when they make the playoffs. You know why they make the playoffs in 97? Because 96 – they build off the momentum. Those kids are starting to learn. They go to Green Bay. They have that confidence where Sapp and that defense shows, not only the Packers and Brett Favre that they mean business, but the national media audience that, hey, we're going to be something. Our record may not be great right now, but you build off of that, and that's huge. And what happens? The very next year, they start out, 5-0? So it's big, and everybody doesn't look at those things and go, well, it's a lost season. No, it's not, because you can build off of that, and those kids can learn how to win, just like the Bucs were learning how to win in 96.
Good points all.
Thank you.
All right, let's take another break. When we come back, I want to talk some NFL. Does the NFL have a quarterback development problem? Interesting question. An interesting question. What are we doing? What are we doing? I'll tell you what we're doing. We're brought to you by the Gold and Diamond Source, who has a brand new men's area. They've knocked down a wall, made it bigger, so they got a lot more watches in there for you guys, bracelets, rings, necklaces, whatever you're looking for. Men's jewelry is a thing now. Absolutely. Has been for a while. Why not go to the Gold and Diamond Source and buy something nice for yourself? Sure, get something for your lady while you're there as well, but also for yourself. Something nice and shiny, like a Rolex watch, like Peter has. Rolex Reporter. Gold and Diamond Source, 3800 Olmerton Road. Back in 3. Stay with us. Hey, it's football season, and we welcome back the Gator Report every Monday and Friday, sponsored by the Jeeves Law Group, JEEVES lawgroup.com. Just go to the website. You can contact them through there. Scott Jeeves is a tremendous, aggressive attorney and a big Gator fan, so we appreciate him supporting this show and, of course, your Florida Gators. They are local, they are trusted, and they get results. Whether it's personal injury or anything else, any law matter at all, it's the Jeeves Law Group, JEEVES lawgroup.com. Give them a call. Tell them JP sent you. All right, this is for all you guys who don't want to go to the gym and do 5,000 crunches. At Bay Area Modern Medical Center, you can get on the new True Body machine where you can reduce fat and tone up your muscle. It's like doing 54,000 crunches in just 15 minutes. Define your body as you see fit. True Body offers personalized muscle stimulation that delivers the equivalent of those 54,000 crunches in just 15 minutes. Just get in touch with them at Bay Area Modern Medical Center, BAMMC.com. Chris Lugo and the team over there will set you up on True Body and get amazing results. Non-invasive with comfortable and little to no pain and zero downtime. You can isolate and target those areas that you want to improve and treat multiple areas simultaneously. It's an amazing machine, so check it out at Bay Area Modern Medical Center, BAMMC.com. JP here to ask the question, are you planning an event, meeting, or conference? If so, you'll want to call the designers and production professionals at Extravaganza Productions Incorporated. With over 35 years of experience in the events industry, designing and producing every type of small to large event, they can provide a huge resource for design ideas, audio, visual, sound, lighting, decor, and entertainment to turn your event into an incredible experience for the entire audience. Folks, I've worked up close and personal with this group at many national events and Tampa events, and they have unique capabilities that help you save time and money in the planning and execution of your next event. Don't delay. Call these pros today at 813-621-4700 or check out their website at extravaganzaproductions.com. Tell them JP sent you, and they'll provide a free initial consultation for your event. Extravaganza Productions, the best in the business. Golfers, listen up. The hottest new driving range craze has come to Rogers Park in Tampa. The Top Tracer range is now open 10 to 9 p.m. And just like you see on TV, every shot is tracked for yardage and accuracy, giving you immediate feedback. And best of all, you can virtually play the top courses like Pebble Beach or St. Andrews with your buddies. Plus, great food and drink options available in the well-appointed hitting bays. Very comfortable out there. Reservations highly recommended, starting at $25 per hour, including balls. Reserve at RogersParkGolf.net. That's RogersParkGolf.net. See you there.
Let's go.
Right now, back to the show on FanStream Sports.
All right, welcome back to the JP Peterson Show on a happy
Hump Day
edition. I'm Peter Blake along with JP Peterson, who is coming right back in there. Lots of stuff to talk about today as we talked about the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, recapping that debacle, if you will, although it was a close game. Defensively, I guess the question for fans out there right now is, can they stand up on Monday night versus Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs? Also talked about some USF big game action on Friday night, and that complete and total idiot last night interfering with Mookie Betts there.
Idiots.
Yes, idiots, complete and total idiots there in New York as they actually, that took away from the game because the Yankees saved themselves there from a sweep from the Dodgers. But let's kind of talk about that just a little bit here, JP, here on the Happy Hump Day. Do you think the Yankees have an opportunity to come back from 3-0, or are they toast?
They're toast. They're toast.
Me too. I
don't think they can come back from that. I think.
By the way, anybody saying you don't have to spend money in order to get to the World Series or win a championship, this is not your year to have that argument, because the Yankees are one of the highest priced teams,
as are the Dodgers.
$1 billion Dodgers at this point. So enough with the nonsense of you don't have to spend money in order to win a World Series. It gives you a better opportunity. Case in point, the Yankees and the Dodgers are showing you. And of course, Tim's team right there, the Texas Rangers, making
spend money. Right. Yeah. Yeah, I was thinking about that. So the Rays payroll at the end of the year was $45 million. That's almost 10 times less than what the Dodgers are spending. I mean, think about it. The Dodgers are spending what, $320? The Yankees, I think, are over $3 as well. I mean, are you kidding me? Like that would be like the Bucs, working with a $50 million payroll while the rest of the division is working with a $300 million payroll.
Well, I've seen that before. Yeah.
Can you imagine even having a sport like that? Like that's the way the sport is set up. And as an owner, that's what you're putting into your team. What an embarrassment. Like, where would that be tolerated? What major market would that? What if the Yankees went down to a $45 million payroll? Their fans would come unglued.
Yes.
They would come unglued. Oh, but JP, the Rays don't make as much as the Yankees. They make plenty. They make plenty, and they got plenty of money in the bank. Plenty of money in the bank. They've been printing money over there for a decade, which is why they stayed in the Trop so long. They're making so much money. He didn't want to come out of pocket for a new stadium and have a $700 million mortgage, right? Didn't want to do that. Like, we'll build you a stadium in Tampa. We'll split it halvesies. Then you can have the naming rights, which will pay for most of your half. No, not good enough. Taking my ball and running. I'm going to go back to the slop. That's already 10 years past its livable life, and we'll just keep putting our fans into the slum here, making them drive over here and with this wonderful game time experience in the Walmart, and overcharge them for everything. Yeah, that'll build my fan base. That's a great strategy. What about build a new stadium in the middle of the market in Ybor City, a beautiful brick, and right there, baseball. Remember that press conference you had, Stu? baseball and the bricks, the great traditions here of the Cuban Americans, the Cubans bringing baseball over to Ybor City, blah, 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 blah. We'll be here for generations to come, blah, blah, blah. It's a beautiful stadium. Look how gorgeous it is. It's got a translucent roof, blah, 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 blah. We love Tampa Bay, blah, blah, blah. Got to pay half. Oh, hell no.
Whoa.
Hell no.
We ain't paying. No.
What?
We ain't doing that.
What?
What?
Half?
No.
400. What? No, I'm going
much
back.
deal?
I'm going to wait till I can absolutely. Sorry,
Sure.
use that word. Boondoggle St. Pete into giving me billions of dollars, and then I'll stay over there. So whatever. But again, my joy of baseball being sucked out of me by the owner. I wouldn't even say this franchise because I love the Rays. I love Kevin Cash. I love the players. Love the baseball side of it. Absolutely awesome. But the way they've run this team from an ownership standpoint is a absolute colossal failure. The stadium issue is Exhibit A. How they completely disrespect their fans constantly. It's not the way the Lightning do business. I can tell you that. It's not the way the Bucs do business.
No,
not the way USF does business. But here we are. Anyway,
well, it's amazing how those
they
draw fans, right? I mean, there's a reason for that. We continue to talk about why the Bucs and the Lightning have no problems with drawing fans, and it's the reason why, because they endear themselves to the fans, as my dog agrees.
That's right, Alex.
Crowd.
That's right. All right, Simba, let's get to comments too. JP was a dog, a wolf, says Nathan Elliott. Every team was terrified by Vita Vea, Nacho, and Sue. The defense has not been the same since Sue left. Yeah, think about those guys on that Super Bowl D. Those guys were dogs.
Yes, they were.
I'm not talking about cats. Meow. I'm talking about dogs. We need dogs. That's what we need on defense. We need some dogs.
Yes. Do you remember Shaq Barrett being hurt and how you weren't sure if he was going to play against Green Bay and how much of an impact he made, or Vita Vea, how much of an impact he made coming back because he got hurt in that year?
Devontae in his prime. Devin White before he went crazy.
Yeah, Carlton Davis making plays, especially Devin White. Remember Devin White, how he took over that Saints game? How you get
and Antoine Winfield and Jordan were balling.
Yeah. I mean, that defense, they still have some of those players. Vita Vea is still on this team.
Yeah, but the difference is on the ends. JPP and Shaq versus JTS and Yaya. Little different.
Disappointed with Yaya, by the way, because everything that we talked about in training camp, it was number zero this, number zero that. Yeah. And maybe it was.
I need to go look at the all 20. I'm going to do that this afternoon. I'm going to start looking at. I haven't paid exactly attention to what Yaya is doing. He should be having a bigger impact. My guess is what I've seen a few times is he's getting chipped a lot and double teamed. Of course, the way to fix that is run more games, run more twists, do some things to get him free.
Sure.
And Bowles isn't doing that. I think Bowles has become, as a defensive coordinator, very predictable, very staid, very safe. I know he gets the credit for blitzing a lot, but a lot of times when he blitzes 5 and drops guys into, defensive ends and linebackers into coverage. So it's the number of blitzes may be a misnomer in terms of how him being an aggressive coach. Aggressive to me is not sending 5, it's sending 6 or 7, going casino blitz, forcing the other team to do something. And, Kirk Cousins is so good at beating the blitz. I get it. It's hard, but here's the other thing. If he continues to just have time and sit back there and survey the defense and throw for 4 touchdowns every game, what's the point? What's the point? You got to hit them. You got to disrupt them. You got to you got to do something different. And right now they're not. It seems very predictable, very staid, soft zone defense. Don't get beat over the top. Come up and tackle, except when you come up and don't tackle, then you got a problem. And the zone they play, I mean, it's like I see this all the time. Guys coming into their zone and the players don't react. It's like, oh, he's in my zone. Let me let him catch the ball and then I'll tackle him. Like, how about he's in your zone? Go make a play on the ball. Like, so many often a guy comes into your zone, you got help over the top. What are you waiting for, man? What are you waiting for? Attack the guy. Attack him.
Right.
And it's like watching the Bucs, they drop into their zone and they just sit there. And a guy comes in their zone, they don't move to him. They wait till the ball is thrown to him and then they move to him. I don't get that. And I understand you can be overloading a zone. There's rules for that. Like if you see your guy attacking another player in his zone and your guy is moving into it, you've got to fill that gap. You got to rotate the defense like you do in basketball, but the first thing you got to do is not leave people wide effing open. That is not a good defensive philosophy.
No. And I tell you another philosophy that's not good that we've spotted, going in the press box there, the Mike Smith defense, when you're on third down, and you're playing 10 to 15 yards back. And I get it. You have a lot of yards to spare, but there's no reason why you give a wide receiver or tight end free release and you play that Smith type of defense. That's so conservative, and that's opening you up to big plays. And sure enough, I think that's the reason why the Bucs have had such a difficult time when it comes to getting off the field on third down.
Yeah. Meanwhile, the offense is killing it on third down.
Yes.
Tremendous. Best of the league.
Yeah.
Nathan Elliott says Zion McCollum is the only corner for the Bucs that will move in on the wide receiver. The rest are terrified of getting a flag. It seems that way. He does make a move and try to break passes up. He's much more aggressive. James says the NFL has figured out Bowles. I don't understand why Bucs don't make a trade for someone like Max Crosby. Raiders want draft capital, and he is worth it. We don't need another wide receiver. We have a great OC. The priority for me is without question edge rusher. I'd take him over a wide receiver, but why can't we have both? We're seeing other teams make moves that I wish the Bucs would have made. And I guess it just tells me that the organization feels like they're more than a couple players away. But here's my thing. If you can go get Max Crosby now and you can keep him under contract, because he's what, 27? Max Crosby, check me there, Peter. I'll check his age.
Yeah,
and what his contract situation is. I mean that's what I'm talking about with a dog. That sets the tone for your defense, and that guy gets in the huddle and sets the tone for your defense.
27, yes, 27.
Yep. Yeah, Levant, and what's his contract situation? He signed a deal 2 years ago, I believe, right?
Yes.
Now, so I mean, that's a guy that you can give up draft capital for, but you're not just renting him for this year. I don't believe in rentals for this year. I would agree that this team, I never thought it was a Super Bowl caliber team, and then I kind of did. After they beat, after the 4-2 start, and then I'm like, maybe not. I'm coming back more towards my 9 to 10 or 10 to 11 wins, which I still think is very doable for this team. But bring in guys that can work. We got to get an edge rusher.
Yes.
So if we can pick him up now and use him for the rest of the season and give up a first round pick, I'm okay with that. I think the Bucs are going to be picking in the 20s anyway. I think they're going to win 10 games, 9-10 games, and be picking in the 20s. So that first round pick you're not getting, a guy that's going to be, a number one, a huge impact player. So trade that pick and get a huge impact player in Max Crosby. Would you give up a 1 for Max Crosby if you knew you could have him for the next 3 or 4 years? Hell yes.
Absolutely.
You ain't going to find Max Crosby in the draft at 21. No way. Or at 18. You're not. So I wouldn't, if I would, the deal's got to be right. Don't get me wrong. I'm not giving up 2 1s. I'm not giving up a 1 and a 3, but make the deal. Looking at his contract situation, if it's palatable moving forward, hell yeah, I would give up a 1 for Max Crosby, 27 years old. Because this team, this team's not going anywhere without an edge rusher. They got to get somebody who will lead like that guy will lead. That to me that's a huge key, and they don't have it right now. They went and grabbed Barton. They needed a center. They did. And I think Jason Light was like, okay, we'll see with Braswell. We'll take him in the second, see if we can work with him. Appears that he's not an impact rusher just yet. I'm not sure he ever will be. They're hard to find. They're really, really hard to find. Obviously, the Bucs have not drafted one in quite some time, right? I'm.
Well, can you think of one? I mean,
I'm like, who's because we didn't draft Simeon. We didn't draft JPP. We didn't draft Shaq. We didn't. Inside guys, but not. Yeah.
You had a chance to get TJ Watt, but you drafted OJ Howard instead. I know hindsight, it's 2020 at the end of the day, but
you had a chance to get Josh Allen too.
Yeah, you sure did over
No.
Devin White. A lot of people. I know I was one of them at the time that was saying, Josh Allen. Why you get Josh
too.
Allen? Because he's
Edge
a
rushers
rusher.
are more important than inside
More
linebacker.
important than an inside linebacker at this point. So maybe it's a simple case, JP, where this organization is not great at drafting an edge rusher, and you just go out in free agency and get one, which brings up the point. If you have to give up a number 1 pick for a Max Crosby or for a Myles Garrett, why not do that? Because of the propensity of missing, Leo Ward, by the way, of missing edge rushers in the draft. We can go as far back as Adrian Claiborne, which, by the way, if you drafted Cam Jordan instead, and Jordan probably still holds that against the Bucs for not drafting him, if you draft Cam Jordan instead. So
I'm with Easy on this. Bucs need an ass kicker that's not going to allow this BS anymore. So many missed tackles. Yeah, they don't. Who's the ass kicker on that defense?
Right.
KJ Britt's the one that does all the talking. But if you play, you play like Jane, you can't be Tarzan.
Where's your
comment, by the way?
Where's your Derek Brooks? Where's your Warren Sapp? Where's your John Lynch? Where's your Rondé Barber? And people will say, well, Levante David. Well, Levante's
he's kind of a quiet leader.
Yeah, quiet leader.
They need a as Scott Reynolds likes to call it a fire starter. I like to call it a shit starter. They need a shit starter, and they need somebody to hold them all accountable. That's one of the things that JPP was so good at. JPP would not put up with any business. No taking plays off, none of that stuff. And they need a leader like that on that defense. And if they have to trade for it, all the better, because that's something that's needed, I think. Bucks Basement, good morning to you. Said the biggest red flag with Bowles is when SR did an interview with him and he said, why do you not call timeouts? And Bowles laughed and just said, I don't like timeouts. He's never going to change. Yeah, that's silly. Be quite honest. Yeah.
Especially before halftime, and we count it up all the time. It's not only plates that I eat and you eat combined, but it's also timeouts that Todd Bowles has before halftime. And
you worked that in there.
I will. Thank you.
The ribs were spectacular this weekend, weren't
they? Not? Come
they were
on.
Fantastic.
Those barbecue ribs with the barbecue sauce and the rice. I didn't get any veggies. I'm sorry. I'm not a veggie.
Oh, speaking of food, by the way, and by the way, Michael LaRue, good morning to you. Says you're right, JP. The Bucs defensive playmakers aren't making plays. Is that on the players or the coaches? Both. No question about it. And somebody else in there said, maybe it was James, that the NFL has figured Bowles out. That happens. And you saw the other day against the Ravens, Monken had that screen called, with that anticipating a blitz from that side from Tyke Smith, and it was just like. Perfect call for that perfect defense. Guy walks into the end zone with 4 blockers in front of him. It's a great call. He caught him in a blitz. Everybody bought into it. The defensive line totally sold out. Great design of the play. And, you got us. And that's happening a lot lately. Good offenses. Well, look at who your playmakers are. Okay, Antoine Winfield, Vita Vea, Cansey, Levante David, Zion. Those are your playmakers, and then they'll target the other guys. And that's not hard to do. Who did they target last week? Funderburk in the first half, right? They targeted Funderburk and toasted him. And sometimes it wasn't his man, Merriweather. I think that was a Whitehead miscommunication or busted coverage. I'm not going to call it miscommunication anymore or lack of focus or concentration. It's a busted coverage. And good, well-coached teams don't have busted coverages. That's it.
No.
Well-coached teams do not bust coverages. And so if you say miscommunication, you're kind of blaming it on the players. If you say lack of concentration, you're blaming it on the players. Every call, obviously, on a defensive call has responsibilities that should take care of everything that is a threat on the field. And if your defense continues to get beat, at some point, it's got to be on the head coach.
Yes.
It's got to be on the head coach if you're the worst. Like I said, we're not asking for the number 1 defense. We're not asking for a top 5 defense. We're asking for an average defense. That's it. Just average. With this offense, scoring 30 points a game, an average defense gets you to 10, 11 wins and a division title.
Yes. Where's the defense against the Washington Commanders? Because if you think about it, the Commanders are one of the top teams in the NFC right now. Where's that?
Well, maybe that was just because it was Jaden's first game.
Maybe. Where's the defense versus the Philadelphia Eagles? Where's that defense at? Where's the
Lions?
defense?
The Lions. The Lions are scoring 50 points a game.
Right.
The Lions are crushing people, and we went into their house and held them to 16 points.
16 without
0 for 7 in the red zone.
Right.
Where's that defense? Where those guys go?
Like, are you overthinking it, Todd Bowles? Are you doing?
Well, Servassier Dennis is gone.
Well, there you go. That's one.
Servassier Dennis was a key because he could cover. And now teams attack the middle of the field where, Levante's slowing down. The safeties and linebackers are just not in sync in the middle of that field. They don't play that zone coverage very well at all. You got to, in zone coverage, you got to anticipate and attack the ball still. Just because you're not playing man doesn't mean you don't attack the man and the ball at that point of the play. You got to. Zone coverage doesn't mean just, let the guy catch the ball in your zone and tackling him. That's not what it's supposed to be. Maybe that's how Bowles is teaching it. I don't know.
Again, it falls on him. If you continue to see the same type of mistakes and communication flaws that he points out, who's the main communicator? It's Todd Bowles. So if the message is not getting out there to the players and you continue to see the same thing over and over again, then again, the onus is going to fall on him. And that's the disappointing thing about it, because we saw this last year to a certain degree. Remember where this team started out good and then all of a sudden they're 4-7. Do we feel like this team could be 4-7? And once again, because of the strength of schedule, come back, make the playoffs, make a run at the end of the day? Do we feel like this team could do that with the offense? Sure, absolutely. But with the defense, the defense is holding them back. And that is not what you expected out of a 2024 Bucs team. I'm sorry.
Nope.
If you said the defense was going to be the worst in the NFL, I would have said you're crazy.
I would agree. Absolutely. All right. I mentioned this. Does the NFL have a quarterback development problem? And we say that because Anthony Richardson just got benched at 22 years old, and 9 starts into his career, he gets benched. Bryce Young is toast. This is from Sam Block, who tweeted this out. He said, Bryce Young, 23, benched. Trey Lance, 24, benched. Justin Fields, 25, benched. Will Levis, 25, benched. Zach Wilson, 25, benched. Mac Jones, 26, benched. Kenny Pickett, 26, benched. I mean, these are all first or second round picks that, basically their careers are over. Now, I wouldn't say that about Anthony Richardson. I don't know why you're benching this guy. Yeah, he tapped out last week. That's completely immature. That's knucklehead stuff. But he's your quarterback. You got to coach him through that. Just benching him, I don't, maybe there's more there. Maybe he's not doing the right things at practice or not studying. And this is a bigger message that they're sending him to, like, this is just the tip of the iceberg, that what we see publicly, that, he taps out every day. I don't know. We don't know that. So I would say it seems a little early, but, I thought drafting a quarterback with 7 collegiate starts was moronic. I don't care how good he is or what an athletic specimen he is. It's just, this is the NFL. And if you're going to do that, you better have a quarterback in place that's going to bring him along over, a year's time. You throw that guy into the fray with 7 starts as a collegiate. That's just knucklehead stuff.
Yeah,
that's not serious football, in my opinion.
That's the Colts. That's the reason why
organizationally
are a joke as an organization, and it stems from ownership. Sorry, Jim Irsay, you're a joke, and drafting a guy, like you said, that had 7 starts off of potential alone. And look, if you're going to draft a guy like that, get a veteran that he can learn under. The Green Bay Packers, they got it right. As crazy as it sounds, Brett Favre, you allow Aaron Rodgers to sit there for 3 years, and then
Holmes sat behind Alex Smith for 12 games, 13 games.
Yes, you have to have some type of guys. Don't just come in right away. Right? I mean, they're
very difficult. What Jaden Daniels is doing is very difficult. I predicted it,
right?
But I bet on it.
CJ Stroud, what he did last,
I didn't predict that.
Right? It's difficult to see because you got cases like Zach Wilson, you got cases like Caleb Williams, and like you said, Anthony Richardson. Whether it's injury, whether it's want to, he's young. He has to go through his bumps in the road. And I remember, hearing Bill Walsh talk about this and Trent Dilfer when he came to the Bucs, and he said he's going to get his head beat in because they're going to start him right away. And that's the problem with having a young quarterback. You've got to.
It hasn't been up against the competition level that
Right.
he's facing. I mean,
Right.
it's foolhardy to think guys can thrive in that situation. And Jaden Daniels did because he started 57 games in college. The dude has seen it all. He's repped it all in the best conference in the NFL junior and the SEC. I mean, yeah, that's why I was drafting Jaden Daniels 1,000 times before anybody else, Caleb Williams or anybody else. Caleb had started a couple of years, but not as many. And you just watch this style of play. Now he's turning out to looks like a pretty damn good quarterback, but I still think Jaden Daniels is a year or two ahead of him just because of the experience that he's gotten. So. All right, let's take a break. When we come back, Corey Long's going to join us. He covers the Bucs, covers the Bolts, covers college football, does it all. So we'll get his perspective on all these different topics when we come back. We're brought to you by the great folks at Cafe Paradiso. Oh, my God, Peter. Tim Ham and Johnny Gerber, our partners at DSP Media, joined us as we put together the beautiful studio. Joined us for a meal last night at Cafe Paradiso that they said was the greatest meal they've ever had. The greatest Italian food they've ever had. I would agree wholeheartedly. We had the lasagna. We had the veal scallopini. We had the veal marsala. We had fettuccine alfredo. We did it up family style, baby. It was amazing.
No invites. I want to invite next time.
I know you were moving, man. You had stuff. You were busy. I know you were.
I was.
I know you had to pull couches upstairs. We should have been over there helping you. Oh, darn. We were at Cafe Paradiso drinking wine and eating food. Sorry. I feel horrible about that. I really do. You guys get over there, man. The food is just off the charts. Treat yourself to a great meal at Cafe Paradiso there on South McNeil. Back with Corey Long. Stay with us. We've had a lot of fun with the monthly birthstones, and October is no different, where the birthstones are opal and tourmaline. All the colors of the evening sky are captured in the mysterious shifting hues of opal, and tourmaline has a color palette for every mood. Did you know that opals have been cherished for centuries, associated with royalty and good fortune? Tourmaline was once thought to protect against evil and enhance spiritual connection, adding to its allure. And during the 40th anniversary, you can find a special selection of this precious gemstone, from stunning rings and necklaces to elegant earrings and bracelets. Of course, Steve Weintraub handpicks every piece for its brilliance and quality. The expert staff will help you find the perfect gift, whether it's for a loved one, a special occasion, or a treat for yourself. Visit the Gold and Diamond Source today, where you'll always find the perfect gift. It's more than jewelry, it's love.
Hey Tampa Bay sports fans, this is two-time LPGA major champion Jane Geddes here. After winning the US Open and 10 other LPGA events, I wanted to try something completely different. So I came right off the top turnbuckle and landed in the crazy world of WWE. And yes, you heard that right, that's WWE. Working for the Vince McMahon as the VP of Talent Relations for the company. Now, though, I want to work for you. Everything I've done in my life, I've done with incredible passion. And now I've turned my focus to leading the best real estate team in Tampa Bay, the Geddes Gordon Group with Keller Williams in South Tampa. If you're looking for a new home, an investment property, or looking to sell your current home, we will give you major championship level service. When you choose Geddes Gordon Group, you become part of our inner circle, like family. So if you're looking for a few golf tips or a golf course view, we're going to stripe it right down the fairway. Call me at 813-485-6808 or go to gettysgordongroup.com, or again, give me a ring at 813-485-6808.
JP here for Third Generation AC and Plumbing. And Third Generation really says it all, folks. The owner, my friend John Rodriguez, has been in the AC and plumbing business since 1995. They built their business on honest assessments and doing great work on time for a great price. Simple, right? Did you know many AC techs are incentivized on big commissions to sell new AC units, and you might just need a drain cleared? So if you want someone you can trust, That's John Rodriguez and Third Generation Services. Check out the 5-star Google reviews. If you have a plumbing or AC emergency, call 813-961-8024 and a human will answer the phone. That's 813-961-8024 or go to thirdgenerationplumbing.com. Hey, it's football season, so we welcome back the FSU Football Report every Monday and Friday on the JP Peterson Show, sponsored by those huge FSU fans at Italiano Insurance. They'll save you money as well. Just do a quick insurance checkup, 813-877-7799. They just saved me $500 on homeowners insurance. Who's doing that? Yeah, they just shopped it around, found a better, cheaper company, and we got a cheaper price. And business insurance. Make sure you're covered or you could lose your personal wealth. That's 813-877-7799. ItalianoInsurance.com. Go Noles.
Ciao, Paolo Tini here, owner of Caffè Paradiso, one of South Tampa premier traditional Italian restaurant. We were recently voted number 3 on Open Table list of Tampa Bay's top 10 restaurants. We're very proud of that because we take great care of preparing each dish by hand with homemade sauces, pastas, only the freshest local ingredients. You won't see the big institutional vendor trucks pulling up to our back door. We get our seafood from local vendors. Sometimes I even drive out to Topper Springs and pick out our daily catch right off those boats. So stop by and say hello. Try our traditional lasagna, the fresh veal, some of our signature dishes like capelli al granchio, that is angel hair with lump crab meat, our branzino, that is a sea bass. We're located at 4205 South McDill, and you can make a reservation on Open Table and read all the great reviews. See you soon. Ciao. Grazie.
Let's go.
Right now, back to the show on FanStream Sports.
All right, welcome back to the JP Peterson Show, brought to you by Third Generation Plumbing.com and AC. They also do AC. By the way, we called them yesterday. We had a little issue at our building, our new building in South Tampa there, and they came, they were like, wow, we can't get a plumber to come over. Everybody's busy. Do you know anybody? I said, do I know anybody? Are you kidding me? Third Generation Plumbing, baby. So I texted my man, John Rodriguez, and within 5 minutes, within 2 minutes, I get a call on my phone, and it's like, hi, this is Third Generation Plumbing. How can we help? They were over to the office within a half an hour and had taken care of the emergency in 5 minutes. I mean, that's what I'm talking about. That's thirdgenerationplumbing.com and AC. And the guys that showed up were great, very polite, well-dressed. They were very communicative. What do we need to do? Blah, blah, blah. Got right to work, made it happen. That's what you want, right? And and of course, the cost was very reasonable. That's what you want. You just want somebody to show up that knows what they're doing, that's polite, takes care of the problem. You're happy to pay a fair price, and you move on. You just don't want all the nonsense, what you get with so many companies. Nonsense, right? So just keep it simple. Thirdgenerationplumbing.com. Thirdgenerationplumbing.com. Call them, tell them JP sent you. All right. Is our good friend Corey Long aboard?
He is. He's on the line right now.
What's up, partner? How are you, Corey Long, my friend?
Doing well. How you doing, buddy?
I'm a little frustrated, my friend. As we sit there and we watch in the press box, your seat is much better than mine.
What are you talking about? You're a row above me. We have the same.
I can't see the guy. I think it's in the goddamn jumbotron. That's why. That's my problem. I'm sorry. I'm complaining. For my free seat in the press box with my carving station, and I'm complaining like an asshole. Sorry, my bad. But I like seeing the replays. I can't see the replays anyway. What's really frustrating is watching receivers run through the Bucs secondary like they have some communicative disease that's going to kill them. And I'm like, why are we so far away from these guys? Why is this defense so bad? Why are they so porous on third down? It's getting frustrating to watch, my friend. Your thoughts?
Well, we're seeing a failure really of all three levels. There's some injuries there. Obviously, Jamel Dean, not being there is a problem that we can see now. They lost the linebacker last week, and they're kind of been at that spot, especially when it comes to their coverage linebackers.
Yes.
And then they can't get to the passer. At the end of the day, they cannot rush the passer. They can't. And, I thought they would do some different things maybe to get to Kirk Cousins, knowing that he can't, he's not going to give you too much running, tucking and running. So I thought we'd see some blitzes. I thought we'd see some different looks out there, and we didn't. And it gave him the time. And Kirk Cousins is he's a quality passer in this league. I think the one thing he's not, I don't think he's given enough credit for how good of a thrower of the football he is.
Oh, really good,
very good. You know, I mean, I know there was a pass late in that game that was in between two defenders that were actually playing good defense.
Yeah.
And he
Are you talking about the corner? There was a corner route right before the half that he threw to Darnell Mooney between the safety and the corner. I know. And Mooney hadn't even turned around yet. And it went right over the helmet of the defender into his hands in front of the other defender. I was like, holy shiz, that was ridiculous.
Yeah, that was incredible right there. And he's just he's had two amazing games against the Bucs, and they have not been able to touch him. And that's just And I think a lot of I guess I start at the top level and say the pass rush just isn't there. The four-man just is not getting to the quarterback. It's not happening. Yeah. And that's leaving them very vulnerable in that back seven.
What kind of changes could you see this team making? Could it be Todd Bowles relinquishes defensive coordinator calling abilities because the defense has not worked out? Could you change your middle linebacker? I mean, what do you see happening here, Corey, to change this around and change it fast? Because you got the Chiefs on Monday Night Football.
I don't know where I'm not sure where they are personnel wise and what they could add and subtract to help with at the end of the day, the guys that you got out there are presumably the best guys that are capable for the position. They're not getting the job done. You're not getting a rush off the edge. You're not getting the sort of push in the middle that I used to seeing. What do you do there? How do you help? Do you blitz more? Is there a concern with blitzing that if you don't get there, you're really leaving your back seven? You're leaving your back end in a bad position. They're getting beat deep enough to where I feel like they can take some risk at this point.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the thing. I mean, they got beat deep twice by Kyle Pitts this past week. Got beat deep. Lamar,
Darnell Mooney.
By Darnell Mooney too. Yeah, they got beat the week before. Lamar hit a deep throw on them. So, they're giving up big plays in the passing game. So that's they've got to get more pressure on the quarterbacks. My guess is we'll see some different looks this week. I don't. You can't afford to let Pat Mahomes hang out there and try to get a relationship with Darnell with Hopkins, DeAndre Hopkins.
Yeah, exactly.
You can't afford that, and it's sad because they're not playing. They're not playing awful. They're turning the ball over too much. They're making a lot of mistakes, but yet they're still in the games for the most part. I mean, the Baltimore game, the score is probably a little deceptive there, but they had opportunities in the fourth quarter against the Falcons. They had a chance to rally that game, and they did not play particularly well, but they had a chance to win that game. So obviously, obviously the talent's there. Obviously the ability's there. The good news is that 4-4 right now in the NFC isn't a big deal.
Right.
There's just, I think everybody in the NFC West is 4-4 or worse. So there's plenty of time for them to turn this around. But my concern is, my feeling is that guys are going to have to start getting healthier, and that might not happen till week 10, week 11. So they're going to have to figure out some things until that roster gets a little healthier than it is right now.
Corey Long joining us here. When I look at this defense and we say, "Oh, go get Max Crosby," well, he's not getting traded. There's nobody on the market. I don't think that's worth it. Myles Garrett, I don't think is getting traded either. These edge rushers are hard to find and hard to get. If you could give up a one and get one, I would. Absolutely, I would. And I would do it immediately if I could get one of those two guys. But I think I just, from what Mark Davis says and what we hear from Cleveland, they're not trading them. So what do you do? How do you beef up this pass rush? What do you do? I agree with you. I think, Bowles has such a reputation for being an aggressive attack guy, but he just blitzes a lot. He doesn't blitz convincingly. Is that what it's a lot of 5-man blitzes. It's not 6 and 7. Then when they sent 6 and 7, they had some success against Cousins, but he's afraid to do it because Cousins is so accurate and beats the blitz very well. But at some point, I'm just tired of the death by 1,000 paper cuts in the soft zone. I just think they have to be more aggressive.
Yeah, I agree. I think they're gonna have to really judge the situations where they want to take those risks and send the extra guys and really, and really.
Yeah, to your point, they're getting beat deep anyway.
Yeah, they're getting beat deep anyway. So they know. I mean, if that blitz doesn't get there, if you're sending 6 or 7, that blitz doesn't get there, you know what's happening. You know that could be good. And I understand why they didn't do it against Lamar. Obviously, Lamar has tremendous mobility, and like we said, once he gets outside that pocket, you're just in a world of hurt. But I don't understand why they didn't do more of it this past week. And I expect. I mean, obviously, Mahomes can make plays on his feet. It's not his favorite thing to do, and he has tremendous escapability still and the ability to throw the ball in the run. But I also think that he's shown this year that if you make him a little uncomfortable, he's turning the ball over quite a bit. He has not had a good statistical season. He's been very good late in games when he's needed to win, but which is obviously because they're undefeated, but. He's turned the ball over quite a bit. They're still trying to work in some receivers. Obviously, they just traded for Hopkins, so that's a new player to work in. Their running game isn't what it's been, so I don't see, I really don't see a super concern that they're going to beat you with their rushing attack. So this is going to be a week. If there was a week for him to be aggressive and to try some, give some different looks and, not be too concerned about getting beat on the ground. This is a team to try this against, I think.
Yeah, are you surprised that they haven't been more aggressive in the trade market? I mean, we've seen teams around the National Football League make moves. You saw yesterday Baltimore for Deontay Johnson. Is that an indication that, A, the Bucs are happy with what they have, or B, that they feel like they're not where some of those upper echelon teams are at right now?
Well, we're seeing a lot of wide receivers getting traded because wide receivers have a different value to them, and they're seemingly, they believe that they're very easy to replace either on your roster or through draft picks. So those higher wide receivers that are not happy or in contract years, they can often get traded. But in terms of what the Bucs need, like we talked about pass rushers. Teams aren't trading elite pass rushers. Right. It doesn't happen in this league a lot. And you have to, you could offer them a first. They still might not do it. Mm-hmm. It becomes a very large commitment. And I don't, this team, I think they feel, the one thing about Jason Light this office is I think they do things very measured. I think, before they really decide to go all in on, say, making a generous offer for a Max Crosby or something like that, to really try to push that, see if they can push the action there. They're going to look at they're going to take a look at what's coming in, what's coming in the 2025 draft, where they projected to draft at. Can they get one of those players? Can they get how can they improve this with some young talent up front? So I think that's always going to be their first thought. And because they've had relatively good success, drafting at several different positions, I think they have a lot of faith in their ability to improve that area through the draft. It's an area that needs to be improved. And I think they for the first time in a long time, when it comes to what are the Bucs going to do in the draft, I think we have a very good answer. They're going to try to go out there and find an edge rusher. So, so
that is a certainty. We talked about it last year, but the fact that you could get the best center at where they picked 23. If you get the best center at 23 in the draft, you did, and I think it was a great pick. It was a fantastic pick, and when you're picking in the mid 20s or 20 or something, it's hard to get that guy. I mean, you go look at these great edge rushers. Most of them are top 10, top 15 picks, top 5 picks. They're special people.
I think Verse won at 16, 17, somewhere around there. That was a shock. I mean, that was he lit. I mean, I
couldn't believe he dropped that far. Yeah.
Yeah, I watched that Roku, that draft there, Roku. And I mean, Sean McVay is like, I mean, he kept just like, that's a man right there. We got a man. He was so excited to have a. He knew what it was. You just lose Aaron Donald, and you're like, y'all giving me this guy? All right, we're good.
Yeah. They got two dogs from Florida State on that defensive line. And that's we mentioned that, Corey. Like, this defense is missing that dog, that JPP, that Ndamukong Suh, that Shaq Barrett coming off the edge. It just, wrecks people, and holds other people accountable. Those were personalities I thought that were very impactful to that Super Bowl defense. And I don't see anybody like that on this team. You agree?
I agree. We've been waiting for Tryon for a while, and it's not there. It's not there.
We're still.
He is the anti-dog. I don't want to say he's but he's not a dog. Just put it that way.
Well, he's a dog, but he's a nice dog. He's like a rescue Labrador. He's gonna your dog was wonderful. Chase the ball around. Just a great dog.
I'm looking for Tally right now to show herself as we're talking about.
That's Tally right there.
And if you could see her, if I could see her in the backgroround, hold on, let me. She's very JTS right now. As a matter of fact,
show you Alex. He's very
there. She is
right now too.
She's very JTS. See?
That's Alex right now.
Dead sleeping. That's JTS on an edge rush right there.
Just taking a nap.
Yeah, you can't see this, Corey, but yeah, she's just taking a nap, just like JTS, just taking a nap. What has he got? 0. He's graded 40 out of 40 by P of 1 sack and 14 tackles in 8 games. Like, how do you play that many sacks, that many snaps, and be that non-productive?
You're running the sacks eventually.
Right.
You just kind of, you're just around the pocket. The quarterback's bound to just walk into you at least 3 or 4 times.
Golly. By the way, that Kirk Cousins ain't going anywhere. Try to go find him. He's right back there, and he's not moving.
Oh, he is on second down, 2nd and 22. He's going 21 yards for that sleeping defense there, which I couldn't believe that.
No. All right, so we can't fix the defense. The offense was better than I thought. So let's move it to the Lightning here for a second. I was very encouraged by this 6-3 start that the Lightning have had. 5-on-5, they're much better. Their special teams are not anywhere where they want them to be right now. But I would have to say the positives are Jake Gensel fits in perfectly on that line, and that line's going to be a monster. Connor Geekie just might be that guy they think he is. That could be an eventual 30, maybe even 40 goal scorer, which is amazing. The defense is much better with Ryan McDonough and Chernak, and these guys all much, much better. JJ Moser is a better defensive player.
JJ Moser's been excellent. I mean, he's been excellent. He's been very, very good. And him and Hedman seem to have instant chemistry. I mean, there's Victor can skate with anybody in that pairing and make them good, but this seems like a really, really tough pair because Moser brings a lot to the table.
Yeah, and
he's shown to be very talented. So, that can turn out to be one of the great trades of of this run. Really, when you look at it, especially if Geekie plays at the level of intensity, I think he's starting to get a little bit of better idea of his scoring touch and what he needs to do. I think they've already moved up the second line. I think he's just such a big kid out there.
Mm-hmm.
He's physically. I can't wait for him to really lean into his physicality and understand how he can use his body to get where he wants to get on the ice and get in front of the net and get those goals. I really think
he didn't even have his man strength yet. I mean,
he's 19.
He's 2 or 3 years away from being, he could easily put on another 10, 15 pounds of solid muscle and just be an absolute force. The way he skates and his skill level.
I actually think eventually he's going to work his way onto that top power play line and give them maybe a different net front presence. Maybe move Point out to one of the wing spots and let him
I agree.
More from the outside. I think that's close to happening. But Gensel, what great vision! I mean, he sees the ice so well. Like what you're not getting from him. Just he's not he scores a lot of goals. He's not a natural goal scorer, but he is a natural playmaker. And just the way he sees things right now, it's setting up things, and and the guys in front of Kucherov has shown he'll finish now. He's not afraid to score a goal. He's not. He loves the assist, but he scores goals, and obviously Pointer can score. So I really love that. I love the way they're meshing, and I'm with you. I thought they've had as we approach these that first 10-game mark, I thought they've been pretty solid. I thought they had a very good game against Washington. That was a good game overall. I thought Washington actually played pretty well, didn't get the results, but I thought the Lightning did a lot to do with making sure that they weren't able to get the cash in on a lot of those potential chances, and had a lull in the second period against Nashville, especially once Kucherov's goal got taken away. But I thought they played well in the third, and they were patient in overtime when they didn't have the puck for the first 90
Patient.
seconds.
Is that what you call that? Patient? They were they're about to fall over. They were out there so long.
Well, they didn't take. You know what? They didn't overexpose themselves, which often happens when you're tired that long and the teams had that much control of the puck, and that helped them at the end because they only really had one chance at overtime. That one chance, well, two chances actually. The second chance they cashed in on. So I like the way they're playing. They got to take it on the road. They had a rough road trip, so you'd like to see at least a 500 road trip. These are some hard teams they're facing right now, but you got to win some of these games on the road to give yourself some.
Yeah, they go 2-2. I'll be happy with this road trip. So
I agree.
But I like what I've seen so far. I think their off-season goals to get better 5-on-5, to get younger, to get faster. I think and still remain as a top echelon team. I think they've cracked that code, and I also think that they're setting themselves up to be able to add at least one, maybe two players at the deadline that will plug holes that they have. So we're a long way, small sample size, but I think if you're John Cooper, you're pretty happy with what you've seen so far.
I think he's very happy. I think he's pretty happy with this team.
Breaking news, Corey. The Florida-Georgia game will be moved to Atlanta's Mercedes-Benz Stadium in 2026 and Tampa's Raymond James Stadium in 2027. We will be hosting the Florida-Georgia game at Raymond James Stadium. Series takes a 2-year break while Jacksonville's Trevor Bank Stadium undergoes renovations. We'll return to Jackson 2028. That's a nice win for Tampa. Yeah, I like that.
Win for Tampa. That was a huge win. That was not a win I expected. I did not know if they thought they would have the capacity, if they like the what can you get in there? If you fill out, you get about 74 in there when you do some things.
And Ray J?
Yeah.
I think I don't know if they'll break out the stands for one, for that game for it, but it might be worth it. I mean, another 15,000 fans in the south end zone brings them to like almost 80,000.
Okay,
so,
because they draw 90. You talking about they draw 90 regularly in Jacksonville. So I think that was their big concern, was just can they get enough? It wasn't enough seats. The stadium; it was the seats. Yeah, so.
Yeah, that's a nice win for Raymond James. We need.
Absolutely.
I'm not sure. I should probably ask the great folks at the TSA, but Orlando always hosts a preseason game for college football. I wish Raymond James would, have some type of classic where they had a match two national teams, and those, they do them in Orlando all the time. They do them in the Superdome all the time. FSU's played in a couple of those Labor Day kind of neutral site games.
Yeah. My guess is when the USF stadium is finished and they move over, that's going to be on the table.
Yeah, you're probably right, because they're already serving two football teams already. So to start, even a week 0 game might be a little bit difficult to schedule. Yeah, I get it.
Yeah,
but that's good news. That's good news.
But hey, another win for Tampa and a big win for Tampa on Monday night as a community. I tell you, I know I talked to 91 before and after, and this is it meant a lot to him. It meant a lot to him. What this community did, showed out for him. I do know it was a concern. It was a concern of how much love he was going to get. He felt it
Really?
all. Yeah. Oh yeah. It always is.
But like from whose perspective you think?
I think he, I just felt like he just probably was a little nervous. You just never know.
He thought he was going to get booed?
I don't think he thought he was going to get booed. I just don't think he expected it to be as boisterous as it was. But the minute he got out there, he realized what he was. You got to remember, as much as he's seen his other old teammates, the only comparable departure is Marty, and that was
way different though.
Break.
That was way different.
That was not a clean break. So I think you're always just a little nervous, but it was
about a 90-second ovation and skate around 60 to 90 seconds. I think by far the longest if you're comparing, comebacks. I think he was by far the best and should be, rightfully so. Let's just hope his statue looks a lot better than Dwayne Wade's.
Any statue would look better than Dwayne Wade's at this point. What were they thinking on that?
I give D-Wade credit for going with it, but my God, when I saw that, I'm like, oh my God, Shaq and Charles are gonna just roast this guy. I mean, this is gonna
and boy, did Shaq ever do that?
Oh my goodness,
it's terrible.
Charles is like, what the hell is that? That don't look nothing like Dwayne Wade. What the hell are they doing?
Terrible.
I don't claim to be an artist, but what picture were they looking at when they decided to do?
Listen, you go into the Pro Football Hall of Fame and start looking at those butts, and I'm like, 1 out of 3 maybe they got. There's a lot of guys that I know in that Hall of Fame. I'm like, that don't look like John Lynch.
No. Ed Reed, they got right though.
I don't look like Rondé Barber. I don't even look like Tiki Barber.
No,
you can tell which Hall of Famers they put more of an emphasis on in there, which ones they don't.
I just think it's hard. I think it's hard to do it. Yeah.
He's on his 7th ballot. Just throw something together. We'll be
don't diss my man Rondé like that. That's awful. No, that's not what I meant at all. I'm like, come on. It's just hard because especially you see these faces every day of your life, which is about, there's also famous. And to make it the bronze, I don't know. I know I sure as hell couldn't do it. But anyway, that was a funny moment. All right, Corey, thank you, buddy. Appreciate all your perspective as always. I will.
You guys have a great day.
All right.
We'll run into you soon. Thanks, buddy.
Yes,
the great Corey Long. Now follow him on the X Machine at Corey Long, CoreYLong, Corey Long. All right, partner.
Yes.
Another radio classic in the books right there. Fantastic show as always.
Well absolutely. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. Yeah.
All right, we will convene tomorrow from Parts Unknown. Nick Geddes will be with me, and we'll certainly be breaking down tonight's Lightning game at Colorado, 9:00 start. That one is on FanDuel Sports, so you can see it on Spectrum. I think you can see all the games on ESPN Plus. I'm not sure about that, but you definitely can see this one on FanDuel tonight. So we will be watching. Have a great day, everybody. See you tomorrow.